Welcome to Next to Madison, a podcast to help you live your best life.
Hey, welcome back to another exciting episode of Next to Madison. I am your host, Madison Malloy. I am super excited about this episode 177. I'm sitting down with an amazing host and entertainment commentator. She's worked many red carpets. She's been running kind of funny entertainment segments on WABC radio for years. So she's got fun kind of celebrity ins and outs and gossip, so to say. So we're going to be talking. She's also a comic in her own way. So we're going to be, talking about relationships and celebrities and maybe even the Epstein list, all the good stuff. So this will be like a fun kind of pop culture celebrity type episode, which will hopefully we'll have some laughs in here, which will be fun. So anyways, we'll be right back after this brief announcement with our guest on Next to Madison.
This episode is brought to you by Balance 7. Balance 7 is a concentrated alkaline with a pH of 11+. I didn't realize that acidosis is responsible for almost every infectious disease in our world today. With COVID-19 and the world opening back up, I started taking Balance 7, and after 3 days of taking it, I feel better. I have more energy, my focus is better, I think clearer. This supplement is amazing. Thanks, Dr. Noristani, for the recommendation. And all Next to Madison listeners are able to try it today by visiting balance7.com and enter code word Madison for a complimentary gift and free shipping.
All right, beautiful people, we are back with our amazing guest on this episode of Next to Madison. Please welcome Lauren Conlin. How you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm good. I'm so excited you're on this podcast. It's going to be like a fun, very kind of different type of podcast. It'll be fun. We'll talk pop culture. We'll talk gossip, Hollywood, conspiracy theories, feminism. We'll
whatever you want, Madison. I am at your disposal. I am here for you, girl. So whatever you want.
I love it. And you can see like people, you can quickly catch on why she was such a successful red carpet host. It's because you have such great energy.
Thank you. And it's funny you say that because I am so tired right now. My husband is away. He's left me with 2 children. I mean, I didn't have kids to take care of them, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, so he's left me. It's first week of school. I'm a little crazy. So I'm very tired. And also I don't help myself when I go out, when they go to bed and drink all night. So that is my own fault. But you know what? I have this saying where if you're going to be a man at night, you have to be a man in the morning. So I stand by that.
That is true. So I guess we got to talk about that. So yeah, you're married, you've got 2 kids, you're living in New York City. How is that? Because I can't imagine anything more challenging and expensive to raise.
Well, yeah, no, it's definitely expensive. That's for sure. I think we were sitting at dinner the other night and I get Amex alerts on my phone, they pop up, and I got this email that I had to pay one of the kids' tuitions or something. And I had to tell my husband or else it would pop up this huge charge. So I was like, oh my gosh, I'm scared of him right now. But no, I can't imagine right now raising kids anywhere else. Anytime I go to the burbs, I don't feel right. I mean, as challenging as it is here and as expensive, I wouldn't do anything different. So I love having kids here. It's perfect. There's so much to do. I mean, it really is great. I mean, I always say my kids are there and they can hang. My kids, I feel like city kids can totally hang. I'll go to a bar with friends and I'm like, hey, you guys sit there. And I won't even give them electronics. I'll give them, they'll have their toys or paper or whatever. And then I can chill and they're great. So, there's something to be said about city kids.
Yeah, that is true. Right. Yeah. You do become tougher.
Yes.
You miss the backyard, but you can find a park.
They love the park. And, we go to my parents in New Hampshire all the time. They are totally fine. And I think the schools in New York City are so wonderful. I have to say, I hated school growing up because pretty much we only had a choice of, a public school or a Catholic school. That's it. And here in New York City, you can pretty much, I know it sounds crazy, but kindergarten, which my daughter was in last year, it's like applying for colleges. So you apply to all these different schools. It's totally nuts. Yeah, totally nuts. But it's kind of wonderful at the same time because there's, different type of schools, for each kid.
Yeah. I've heard actually that people will enroll their children into schools based on who else is there because it's the ultimate networking.
Oh, wow. So I did not hear that, but I believe it because the parents are crazy. I mean, one of the reasons I love my daughter's school is that it's a private school,
Yeah.
but it's about 70% of the families are on financial aid, which is amazing. So she's not going to school with these spoiled kids wearing golden goose
Okay.
shoes and Burberry coats at age 6, she's going with like just regular everyday kids that, you might find in the birds as well. And I get it. People have money everywhere, but I think I'm just trying to not give her the stigma of like a spoiled city kid.
Well, yeah, you want to have her raised with, a work ethic to go and make it on
Yes,
her own and work hard and be humble at the same time.
totally. It's just, we live on the Upper East Side, so you always gotta be careful.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
No, totally. That's I know. I love the city. I was there for years and now I'm like back and forth and I do miss it. There's times, but I also
yeah,
and I used to say, I was like you. I used to say, oh, give me too much space and I freak out. Like I need the city. Like I don't like the
I
suburbs. And
know.
now I'm like, oh my God, I love the suburbs. Suburbs are
You
like
love getting in your car and just driving, and yeah. My
I
friend
just
just said
love
that the other day.
green grass, and
Okay.
like fresh air, like
Yeah.
not smelling like piss when you walk out of the door. But I enjoy that when I'm there
Yeah.
half the year. So I
Mhm.
feel like I kind of got the best of both worlds right now.
I
I can
agree.
come
That's
and go, but
I love that.
my business partner had also told me, he said, once you are really rich, New York City is a completely different experience. And I said, oh, I believe that.
Yeah, interesting. Right. I mean, yes, that also makes sense. But no, you're right. The best of both worlds. Half the year you don't mind looking at huge rats in the subway and having it smell like garbage. And then the other half of the year you get green grass and you get to actually put your groceries in a car instead of having them break on the way home. And, I totally
Totally.
understand. I totally understand. I also like the walking aspect. I'm crazy
Me
about like
too.
my 10,000 steps. I'm
Yep.
like, "Ugh." Yeah, I'm so crazy about that.
It
So
is very hard to get them in a driving place. You have to.
I know. We lived with my parents during the pandemic and I ordered like a cheap treadmill just to like keep there because I'm like, I need to walk. I need to walk. It's winter. I need to do something.
Yeah. No, it's
Yeah.
totally. So let's talk about your red carpet hosting career.
Yes.
'Cause
Yes.
that's
So
fabulous.
it's interesting because that is how I started my podcast, Red Carpet Rendezvous. I was going on different red carpets and I was sort of showing people. I mean, I was definitely ripping the interviews. And ripping them into audio files so people could hear them, but I
Yeah.
was giving a different type of take. I basically was telling people this took me so much arguing with the PR rep to get this interview, or I got stepped on by like 18 people and elbowed in the mouth and I was bleeding because red carpets are not glamorous. So I kind of took that approach to the podcast. And then COVID hit. So I was kind of like, this is silly. And I kept things going for a while. And, they started to do junkets on Zoom, which now are a thing. I did a digital junket yesterday. So Red Carpet Rendezvous slowly morphed into Lauren interviews, which is what it is now, where I'm interviewing people and I'll do red carpets, but not as many as I used to. So, but it's definitely, it was fun while it lasted. And I do enjoy doing like one red carpet a month, but I am so glad I'm not doing 2 to 3 a week like I used to. That was difficult.
Yeah, because
So
you're not guaranteed the questions. Like you really have to kind of
no.
push yourself in there.
Oh, 100%. I mean, you're not guaranteed anything. And like me, I've never been with a big outlet. I've never been with ET or with Access Hollywood or whatever. So I'm always at the end of the line. So it's usually like the big outlets, then the local news, and then podcast, smaller outlets. And so usually it's either like there's no time or they're looking at who you are and they're like, nah, not worth it. So it's a lot of fighting.
So who was the rudest celebrity you've encountered?
So I feel like there have been a couple. So I don't know if this was necessarily rudeness. I mean, to me, it was rude, but I don't know if you know the show Truth Be Told on Apple TV, but it's produced by Octavia Spencer and it stars Octavia Spencer. And what's the guy's name from Breaking Bad? Jesse Pinkman. What the hell's his name? Whatever. So anyway, there's a carpet promoting this show and they're the only 2 people that are supposed to be there. So we're all waiting and we get, the PR person comes over and says, hey, Jesse Pinkman, I feel bad. I don't know his name. I'm drawing a blank, but he's stuck at Colbert. So he's going to be late. He's not going to have a chance to walk the carpet, but Octavia Spencer and the showrunner should be here soon. So we're like, oh, that sucks. But at least we have Octavia. So we wait another 10 minutes. Octavia and the showrunner come out. They take a bunch of pictures. And, there's only like four video outlets there, right? Only 4, really not a big deal. And she produced the show. So I'm sure she has money in it and she should want it out there. So
Yeah.
she takes her pictures and then she looks at all of us and then she whispers to the showrunner and her PR rep, and then she walks away. She would not give us interviews, and that pissed me off so bad. So for those of us who showed up to the carpet to do video and promote this show for her and, whatever, get interviews, she basically looked at us and gave us might as well have given us a big middle finger, which is really sad because I heard she was super nice, but I guess I'll never know.
I know. Well, you never know when you catch people on a bad day or whatnot. But yeah, it's kind of like you can humble beginnings. Like you need to appreciate where you
who also wasn't super nice was Bridget Moynihan. I didn't have a great experience with her. She kind of
Blue Bloods woman.
What's that?
The Blue Bloods girl?
Yeah, at Tom Brady's ex. So, and I didn't say I kept my questions pertaining to this movie that I was covering for her. And I think I said something. She kind of had this chip on her shoulder. And I kind of positioned the question like it must be fun to play a drug addict in this movie, like something that you're not. And she didn't like the way I said it must be fun. She's like, well, I don't know how fun it is, but it's definitely challenging. And I'm like, oh, bitch, sorry. Like, you know what I mean? I'm like, my goodness. Like, you know what I mean? I'm sure it's very challenging for you and you deserve all the awards in the world. Calm down. It was she just tried to make me feel small. I could tell that's what she was doing, but yeah,
that's always the worst. But you know what? These are good experiences too, because then when you're in that position, you're going to be more aware of not being an a-hole. But sometimes, like for me, like I consider myself a nice person, but there's times I can be rude, like right before my period. But I'm good.
I'm like a full week. I'm rude before my period. My husband jokes that he only has me like for a week and a half, like normal me. Cause I say like, it's like a week and a half that I have PMS and then it's a week of my period. And so when, it's all said and done, he's like literally a week and a half, you're normal. I'm like, I know it's bad.
That's hilarious. Well, at least he loves you.
Yeah. Sometimes.
Exactly. So who was the coolest celebrity you encountered?
Oh my gosh. I think Romany Malco is one of the coolest guys ever. He is on the show, A Million Little Things. He was in 40-Year-Old Virgin, Weeds. Okay. He was known for the role of Conrad. I've interviewed him multiple times. He always gives you so much time and he's so thoughtful in his answers. He's a favorite of mine. A red carpet favorite of mine is Tony Shalhoub from Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. He will always give you everything you need. Like it'll be like they're rushing him in saying, hey, the movie's going to start or the show's going to start. We have to go. And he's like, wait. He always wants to get to everyone. It's super nice. I'm trying to think. I feel like I've been really lucky and so many have been so nice. I haven't really encountered a lot of them that were rude. So yesterday I had a junket with John Hamm. He kind of rolled his eyes at me a little bit, but it wasn't, I feel like, I don't know. I have to go back and look at the footage because I haven't released it yet, but I have to see. Yeah. He kind of was like, I don't know. Maybe it was because he was doing one interview after another, but he kind of was a little bored. You could tell.
Oh,
it happens. It happens.
Maybe he was on his period.
Yeah. Also a horrible one was that I felt so bad about was Anne Heche. So I had interviewed her in 2020 about a movie and it's like so sad. So I went on Fox when her reps told everybody that she was going to be fine. They told all the press she was going to be fine. So I went on this show and I started saying, she definitely has a drinking problem. Like, here's my interview. They played a part of it. She sounded wasted. I didn't understand why she's doing this interview for this movie that she was saying, well, I don't know why the movie got made. Basically saying it's so bad. And I'm like, you're supposed to promote it, honey. You're supposed to promote it, And then think of how horrible I felt, when she died. I was like, shoot, well, yeah. So that she was a very interesting person to interview. I was very put off by that interview, even though she was incredibly sweet and nice. It was weird. It just,
what a tragic end.
Tragic. And talk about conspiracies, I don't believe this for a second, but there are conspiracies going around that Ellen rigged her brakes or something. I think it's bullshit, but
I did hear that.
I have to say it. I have to say it. That was out there because she was doing this special with Lifetime on human trafficking or sex trafficking, and she quote unquote knew too much. I don't believe that is what actually happened, but I do like to repeat the rumors because they do add a layer of like, what the hell to all of this Hollywood
Right.
stuff.
Well, it is weird.
Yeah.
You have to admit it is weird because she's not the only one who's been working on something involving sex trafficking that suddenly dies.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to,
There's been
yes,
countless.
Right. Yeah,
numbers.
totally. And it's weird too. My whole initial thought about that was that it was suicide because the way she ran into the garage first and then sped off and then ran into a house where it was almost like, oh, it didn't work this time, so let me finish the job, and I obviously I could be wrong. We'll never know. And that is the saddest part, is that, only God knows. So in Anne, and it's just, I guess it's just, yeah, it drives me crazy. I just wish I knew what was so wrong with her inside,
Well, hopefully she's at peace. She's home. She's with her family that's passed on, and
yeah,
that's where we're supposed to be. When we die,
Yeah.
we go. They call it home. We go home. We're here temporarily. So hopefully she's found her peace and is having a ball.
I know. I hope so.
Yeah. So, well, that's interesting. So speaking of conspiracies, you've been doing a lot of your TikTok has gotten a lot of attention because you're kind of concentrating on some conspiracy theories, which are really fun. But if we were doing this exact interview 3 or 4 years ago, they would be just that, right? But a lot of conspiracies are starting to come true, meaning that when you say they're conspiracies, there probably is some truth behind them. So I think it's also intrigued people going, is this going to turn out to be the truth? Because a lot of things did. Just right. I feel like the word conspiracy is used when they want to mask the truth.
Yeah, I mean, I never considered myself a conspiracy theorist before until the pandemic, actually.
Yeah.
And isn't that terrible? I mean, I went down a horrible rabbit hole, and like, I don't want to get too much into it, but just everything with the vaccine, and I just it started to drive me crazy. I started to be like, wait a minute, maybe the stuff they were saying about Epstein is true, because I don't know, maybe not to get political or anything, but I just was thinking maybe the government is not so great. Maybe I don't know, maybe they are covering certain things up and blah, blah, blah. So,
that's not a conspiracy anymore. I think people are really catching on to the fact that there are very good people and good parts of our government, but there's also a lot of bad and a lot of corruption and a lot of people who are compromised, who may have been really dear, great souls, and unfortunately maybe had a bad night or were compromised in some way, and now have just become horrible. And I always want to say to some of these politicians on both sides, like, do you realize that there's an afterlife and your actions here are going to play into that? You need to be careful about what you do here, because that will determine if you go there. But I don't think that they think the same way that you and I do.
No,
So
one of my favorite, what movie? Oh, Gladiator. When Russell Crowe, there's that line, for what we do in life echoes in eternity. That is one of my favorite lines, just piggybacking off of what you said. But no, we're sitting here in a society where, a former president, his house gets raided, and the current president, his son, is a drug addict with files that it's so corrupt. It's so corrupt. And I think that,
right. Again, if you do it to one, do it to the other. That's all we're asking.
Yeah, I know.
To pick sides. It's just make it an equal justice system.
Yeah, I mean, Cuomo and the nursing home. Like, if you don't believe in conspiracies, then it's like you had a governor that let all these senior citizens die. So it's like, if that doesn't, drive you completely nuts or keep you up at night, then something's wrong with you. But totally. I got very into just really diving into the Epstein list, right? And I really, I really get upset about how Lane is sitting in jail. Well, that's one person in jail. I feel like we need to figure out, she needs to talk. We need to get this list. And so I actually live about 10 blocks from Jeffrey Epstein's old townhouse.
Okay.
So I pretty much walk by there on purpose once or twice a week. I try to get in, and I'm telling you, Madison, the vibes from first of all, there's cameras everywhere. And the vibes from the construction men, when I approach, first of all, they roll their eyes like it's this bitch again. And they kind of crowd around the door. So and they knock because it's locked. There's people inside. When they take a break, a smoke break, a lunch break, whatever. And all I want to do is peek inside. And now what they've done, because as soon as I open it, I try to walk by with my camera, and I'm surprised they haven't called the cops on me. Like, I think I'm just like, you know what I mean? I think they just think I'm funny or whatever, but I'm really not being funny. But
yeah,
I try to get, like, you know, a video. So the other day they actually put up a freaking plastic like curtain. So now I can't see anything. So I'm like, damn it. And so something is weird. Like what they're doing to that place. I mean, cause it was bought in 2017 by somebody. I looked up his name. He was an entrepreneur for $50 million. He must be gutting the shit out of that place, because that place must be so haunted and so disturbed that nobody can go in there. Or like, what are they hiding? Like what, I mean, you see construction on townhouses in the city. It's not blocked off. Like nobody gives a shit. This place, it's like blocked off. They're like, nah. Yep.
So it was sold that fast after he died?
No, when did he die? I don't think he lived there when it sold. I'm not certain, but correct. It sold kind of fast, but yeah, I'm not certain that timeline, but it's boarded. Like you can't even see the front of it. Like, it's silly. Usually if you look online, like, you know, Vogue or Vanity Fair will have an old picture of it it's beautiful, but can't even see it. Totally boarded up. Very, very sketchy.
I mean, who would want to live in there out of all the stuff that had happened?
Well, I think that's the whole point of like why they're probably gutting it. And I'm sure for this place, I don't know. I mean, I know that Les Wexner signed it over to Jeffrey Epstein in 96 for $0. That also is a huge cause of concern. Like, how could you sign over a $56 million house like for nothing? Like, what does he have on you? I mean,
there's no free lunch. There's something he was giving him that
totally. There's something very wrong there. But yeah.
My dad had a friend that was best friends with Les Wexler.
Really?
Whatever his name was.
Yeah, I know. I always say it wrong.
But that friend recently died of natural causes, but he died.
Wait, was it that guy? Was it Stephen Hoffenberg?
No, his name was Jim. He was a Colorado guy.
But he recently died, and he was friends with Epstein.
No, he wasn't friends with Epstein. He was friends with Les Wexner.
Oh, sorry. Okay, got it. Okay.
No. He was not friends with him.
Okay.
He was friends with his friend. So I used to tell my dad, I said, you know, Jim's best friend is like, something's wrong with him. He's not a good guy. Like he was with Epstein.
Yeah.
Like,
oh gosh.
Stop with the conspiracies. And I was like, I want to talk to Jim about.
Dude, I feel like they're not conspiracies. You know, I feel like you said, there's truth to everything. So.
Well, and that's just the thing too. I actually had lunch with a retired priest friend of mine yesterday.
Okay.
And he's a very like kind of, you know, modern cat. He's a cool priest. Let's put it that way. Right.
Yeah,
like I use the F word in front of him if I forget, and he laughs like it's no big deal. So we were talking about like certain things and just the amount of evil that's on the planet, right? And the more like the sex trafficking that's going on, and just the pedophilia, and just all this like horrible stuff. And obviously horrible stuff has been happening since the beginning of time. The devil is very powerful, and he is certainly here working through many different people. And he was obviously working very closely with Epstein, like through him, right? That's what he does.
Yeah.
And he had told me, he was like, you know, God gave us free will, and you want to make decisions that are positive and good and kind and things of that sort. But there's going to be a lot of temptation. It's not going to get better. It's going to get worse, as it states in the Bible. But this is the true test before he returns. So you're really going to be tested, because there's going to be things that are going to tempt you when it gets worse. what are you going to do? And it's like, just hearing that was just like, you just keep thinking with, you know, that the Epstein being arrested and then killed, being
He
killed.
definitely was killed. Let's be honest. He didn't kill himself. Yeah.
And then Ghislaine being away and these trafficking rings being broken up. It's just like, it's still not getting better. It was really kind of a devastating conversation, but you just want justice to be, but it was a good conversation. It was like a prepared, like, things are going to get bad. Make sure you always stay humble and kind, because your life there is much better and longer than your life here. So choose.
Well, that just, you know, I'm at this point, I'm less concerned for myself and more concerned for my children. I think only just hearing stuff like that. It's like, you know, I know things are going to get worse, but I would hope, I hope and pray that they won't, but no, it's definitely, I agree with you. And I feel like I should probably get off social media sometimes, but also it's good because I'm aware, but I follow all these accounts that just scare the crap out of me about, you know, kids just almost being kidnapped, but running away. Like they're like a hair away from being kidnapped. And I'm like, oh, and it's caught on camera somehow. So it's just crazy. It's crazy.
I know, it is a very scary world. But back to this Epstein list. And it was funny because Elon Musk was tweeting about it too. Yeah. Where's the list? We want.
Where is it? I mean, the media seems to have forgotten about it.
Do you think we're ever going to find out?
I don't think so, unless maybe. The reason I don't think we will is because I think it incriminates both sides, as in Republicans and Democrats. Like, I think that, you know, Trump is on the list, and I think Obama's on the list, and I think, you know, I think everybody's on the list here. So I think that we're never going to find out. So I think that everybody probably agrees to just bury it.
Well, and but here's the thing is, there were so many victims. Why aren't more of the victims coming forward?
Yeah, I think
that person's on the list. I know they're on the list. They probably don't want
it. I do feel like that a lot of them got money, hush money. So that's kind of why. I mean, obviously we've got Virginia Giuffre, who continues to talk and talk and talk.
Yeah.
However, what upsets me about that is she still claims Alan Dershowitz raped her. And I really want to believe all women. I believe everything that she said when it comes to Epstein, everything she said when it comes to Ghislaine. I have a really hard time believing that Alan Dershowitz raped her. I have the hardest time. He brought his wife to the island. I see Alan Dershowitz in life where, you know, he comments on some of the same news and radio stations I do. I've seen him at L&B Simone Gardens eating pizza with his wife and kids. I cannot wrap my head around him raping her. I can't.
Yeah.
So,
and like some of this stuff, we'll just never know. But this is just a reminder to everyone that's listening. Your actions here will follow you after death. Try to be kind. If you're watching a movie of your life, when it ends, and let me tell you, it will end in the blink of an eye because it's very short down here.
Yeah.
What do you want that movie to state? And I feel like I want, right?
Yeah.
I want to go to the White House and give the House and the everybody this speech and say, listen, some of you are compromised. It's not too late to ask for forgiveness, but your actions to the people, whether it's controlling them, taking things, whatever you're doing, just remember when you're watching that movie at the end of your life, is this the movie you want to watch?
Yeah.
Maybe I could make a difference.
Yep. I love that. I've never heard that. I'm totally going to use that. I love that so much.
Yeah.
That's
So
really
next time you see a homeless guy and he's sitting there and he looks like he needs help, you know, I want to see myself dropping some money into his cup, or I want to help that old lady out. And
it's true. It's true. I do try to be nice to everyone. I try to include everybody. I really do. And that's what it's so funny, just because, you know, I'm sort of friends with some, interesting characters, and everyone's like, what do you get out of this? And I'm like, it's not that I get anything. I mean, I get a friendship, and I get, you know, it's like, why not? People make mistakes. They can get past their mistakes, and everybody deserves a second chance.
Well, exactly.
In my opinion.
Right. And if they're good to you, I mean, honestly, like really good friends, they're you got to hold on to them because they're
I
not easy
know.
to find.
I
It's hard
know.
to meet new friends when you get older, and who can you trust, and what, you know what I mean? So,
Hmm.
if that's my whole thing. I'm like, I don't care what people think about my friend group. If they have any opinions, I don't think they do, but if they do,
Yeah.
it's how they make me feel.
I
I have fun with that person, so you can go fuck yourself.
Yeah,
Uh,
exactly. Exactly. It's true. I feel the same way.
Yeah, no, but that Epstein list, I always thought that like it's not coming out because the names that are not just the names that we've all seen, that the flight
Yeah.
records that have been like released, right? I think that there's probably another list or there's more, but what I think the reason is because the people are so big, I think it could like collapse it could collapse the economy
Right.
if it came
Right.
out.
I do not disagree with you there.
But at the same
So
time, it needs to come out because
it's
people
not
need to be
it's not
held.
going to.
Yeah,
I
but
know.
people
I
need to
just
be held
really,
for their actions. So people will say, you know what, I'm not gonna do that.
it's funny as you're like saying all this stuff, I really do think like it's not coming out. You're right. Something could go very wrong with the economy.
I mean, not that
yeah,
it's already going south, but
I mean, yes, correct. But yeah, no, you're right. It's just, like I said, there's too many people on it. That's why I don't think it's coming out, but I guess we'll see.
you just hope that like this is just, God, you know what? There's this whole thing like being naive, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I think being naive is actually probably a good thing in this world. I kind of want to just live in my bubble. So it's amazing when you turn off the news and you walk outside, maybe not in New York State, but you walk outside and like the burbs, you're like, wow,
Yeah.
really nice out. The world is good. People are nice.
Yeah.
I'm very
What
thankful.
are the men cool in Colorado? Are they like hot? What's up with that?
I mean, I'm only kind of temporarily here. So like, I don't
Okay.
date. I just hang out with my friends, like my high school.
Okay.
And then like, cause they're all back here.
Yeah.
And like some of their new friends, but like I don't date because I'm gonna be back on the East Coast permanently at some point. So I'm like,
so you don't want to start anything.
Trust me, I've already opened up some of the apps on, lining up Hinge, place my ass in Tribeca where I'm gonna be.
Yes, I love that. That's amazing.
My meal plan.
I love that. Yep. I love that.
I'm gonna eat at all these great restaurants.
Yes. No, you deserve it. Are you kidding? Come back. You deserve it.
So, but yeah, it's like you have to, sometimes being naive is a good thing because you're like, you know what? The world is bad, but there's a lot of good in the world. And what you focus on is how you will perceive your life. So it's very like, sometimes it's good to be like, I don't want to know.
I know.
Hang out over here.
Totally. That's how I feel about the border crisis. I'm just and I feel bad about it, but I'm like, I don't really want to know right now. I'm like, unless I know ways to help, which I don't at the moment. I'd rather not know about it.
Yeah, because it's just horrific down there.
It's horrific.
That's why I don't think the people from Washington are going. They don't want to. They don't want to face the conflict.
Right, but you know what? They shouldn't really have that choice. I'm like, they don't have the option like we do to be naive.
Exactly. Like people are losing their lives.
I know.
And it's like it's not about it's humanity at this point. Like screw your political power and your political party. Like
exactly.
Being a human being. But again, I don't want to be their movie at the end of their life. So you sleep in the bed you make. And their bed is not very nice. So
absolutely.
As my blood is boiling on the
I know.
Thinking of these people, I'm like, I just want to put the politicians on a punching bag. That should be my workout. I'll be there for hours. Boom, boom, boom.
I'm with you.
I was like, these people are insane. I know.
Totally.
Do you follow that comic, Dave Smith?
No. Should I?
He's great.
Okay.
So
wait.
Libertarian.
I do follow him.
I feel like he's going to run for office one day.
Wait, Dave Smith is going to run for office? You think he should?
I think he should. So he's a libertarian. So he's all about less government. Let me tell you, the less the government.
I follow him. That's so funny.
Better our life is, right?
Yeah.
He's really great. But that's what I'm like, if I could have a prayer and a wish could come true, I'd be like, we get rid of both political parties and we start fresh. And we have limited government and we just kind of, if you do something bad, you get locked away, end of story. If you do something good, you get praised, end of story. Like,
Yeah.
I just want a new world,
I know.
just get everybody out that's corrupt, let them do their own thing, done, and be done with it. Like
Yeah.
he's got a
I
lot of
know.
really, really good points. Like the more the government and control the government has, the worse things will be. And that's
Yeah.
what they kind of want. So it's like,
Hmm.
we've got to strip the power back from the government and just
Yeah.
be a good person.
Yeah. I totally agree. I totally agree with you.
I feel like
Yep.
every person that has like a high school education, if they thought about it, could be like, oh, this is how you solve the crisis of the world. But the
I
problem
know.
is that doesn't make money. Peace
No,
doesn't make money.
exactly. And
That's the problem.
there's so many things that you have to take into account, but yes.
It makes my blood boil. But as my mother says, as you pray for your friends, you must pray
Mm,
for your enemies.
yes. No, that's true. I tried to do that. I don't really have, yes, I try not to have enemies, but yes.
Yeah.
I hope I don't have enemies.
Enemies, like, I pray
Yeah.
for Mitch McConnell and Nancy Pelosi. I
There
pray
you
for them
go. There you
both.
go. Yes.
I don't know them personally, but I
Right.
both
Okay. So
think that
tonight
they're
I will
some
pray
bad
for
shit.
AOC. I will pray for AOC.
Has there been a documentary on her? I remember, I gotta tell you,
Yeah.
when she first started running for office, I remember so I dated this guy years back, like 5 years
Mhm.
ago. And we had stayed friends, it wasn't a bad breakup and whatnot. But he was telling me, very successful man, was telling me that his employees were like, they go, yeah, all my employees want me to date this new congresswoman, whatever the hell she is,
Yeah.
AOC. And I go, are you out of your mind? Like, first
No.
of all, I don't think, and he goes, no, she's hot, but like, no, I would never do that. Like, they're like, you're powerful. She's not powerful. Blah, blah. And it was like the running jokes. Every time I saw AOC,
Oh,
trust me, they obviously
wow.
never dated because she had that boyfriend.
Yeah.
But every time I saw AOC, I would think of that. And I was like, ew,
Yeah.
ew.
Ah,
Like,
ah,
really?
you could have shared a penis with AOC.
No, she would have shared a penis with me.
With you. Yeah. It's okay. True. 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 Now she's got a ginger.
But at least I was like,
So
wow, he dodged a bullet.
yeah. No,
But she wasn't
seriously.
as I don't think people knew she was going to be as like as kind of
I
nuts.
mean, it kills me. It's like she's a congresswoman for the Bronx. Like, do you know congresswoman in Connecticut or Wyoming? No. Why the hell did she get so famous? It's so freaking annoying to me. Where I'm like, what? She gets like the cover of magazines and nobody even knows who their congresswoman is in other states. Like, who
Well,
cares?
she's
So
loud.
annoying.
She makes herself heard.
Yeah.
And she's hot. We live in a society that like puts people
True.
who are
Well,
hot.
she's young. I don't know how hot she is. I guess she's hot compared to Nancy Pelosi, but like,
This is
yeah.
true.
Yeah. I'm like, she's young. She's like 33 or something like that, or maybe even younger. I don't know.
I know.
Yeah.
But you know what? As you know, my mother's not a fan. A lot of people are not fans, but you got to pray for the enemy. So yes, pray for AOC.
Yep. I
But
will.
I always try to find, like, sometimes I just want to throw people across the room, but I always, like, for me to keep myself sane and not going crazy, I'm like, what's something good about AOC? I'm like, oh, she's
Yeah.
pretty. I wish I had her confidence. Her
Yeah.
confidence is very admirable. She
Right.
doesn't even know what the heck she's talking about half the time, but like,
Right.
she owns
Mhm.
it. I'm like,
Yeah.
I can't do that.
I know. I always think about that too. When I see people, I wish I had their confidence. Yes. That's a good
Yeah,
point.
I
Mhm.
know. But you seem like a very confident person. What are tips you use to stay in that confident mode, or fake it till you make it?
That's literally it. I just fake it. That is 100% what you have to do. You just fake it. I swear. I mean, I've been faking it from forever, like literally forever. Since I was a teenager.
Well,
I've
yeah.
always been like, yeah, I think that if your posture sort of shows that you
Yeah.
were, you know what I mean, sitting up straight and holding your chin up and smiling, I think that is just the way to go. I entered two pageants when I was younger, and I had no clue what I was doing. And I think I was 14. So it was like Miss Teen New Hampshire, Miss Teen New England. I won both of them. And I was literally, yeah,
Fabulous.
I could not believe it. And honestly, my parents, like once they announced fourth runner up, my parents left. They went to like get sodas. They were like, oh, that's like her only shot. Like she maybe could have gotten fourth runner up, maybe. So they went to get sodas. Cause again, I was like, I never done one. They saw me walk in my evening gown and they were like, oh, that's not cute. That's not, whatever. But I won because during my interview and during my questions, I really was confident. I really, really was. So,
yeah,
there's something to be said.
No, it makes all the difference in the world. And you know what? It's funny. And I say this, I'm a very good preacher, but like sometimes I have to practice these things too. But like on what it really comes down to is just realizing that like not as many people care as you think. Also, their opinions really don't have much of an effect on you. Your life is short and like everyone's being judged.
Yes. No, totally.
There's no reason you shouldn't be confident because there's nobody like you. You're such a unique being that like, who cares?
Oh, I like that. No, I like that. Like everybody should be confident because they should just be themselves.
Exactly. That's why
I'm going to tell
that's why
my daughter that.
Pick up a copy of my new book, Time to Light the Fuck Up.
Yes.
It's out October 4th. So it's
October 4th. Okay.
Yes.
Amazing.
Well, this has been fun. Where can everybody find you? Because you are like a social media queen is what.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. I try, I'm getting there, but it's a lot of work, but you can find me on Instagram at Lauren_interviews. And then on Twitter at Conlin_Lauren. And then on TikTok at Lauren Conlin 4. So
perfect.
all the different social media handles.
Yeah. And you guys, got to follow her because she's a lot of great interviews, very funny.
Thank you.
She really is good about stories. So you kind of get an inside peek of her fabulous life. And
thank you.
Yeah, I want to be you when I grow up. So
yeah. I'm like, look at my bags under my eyes. You don't want these. But no, thank you so much for having me.
Fabulous.
And Madison, we are going to get you on Lauren interviews soon, or maybe Pop Style TV. We got to pick the right one for more exposure. So thank you so much.
Yeah. Well, thank you. And thank you to everybody who's listening, and we'll see you next time to find out who's next.
Hey, your host here, Madison Malloy. Please make sure to subscribe to the show on all podcast platforms, and please rate and review us on iTunes and Spotify. Also, if you have any questions or comments, you can email us at contact@nexttomadison.com. I thank you again for listening. Bye.